Hey friends, it's Chris, your friendly neighborhood slasher enthusiast. Now, back in 2021, Netflix dropped a little summer surprise in the form of a 3-part slasher saga that made horror fans sit up and pay attention. Fear Street wasn't just a nod to the R.L. Stine paperbacks we devoured in middle school. It was a full-fledged, blood-soaked celebration of horror through the decades, all wrapped up in one cursed town, Shadyside. Now, with Fear Street Prom Queen set to rip into Netflix, it's a perfect time to revisit the trilogy that started it all. Now, the new film may be a standalone story, but it lives in the same cursed universe, nestled right between two of the trilogy's bloodiest chapters. Now, before we jump in, I just want you to know, if you're looking for the full deep dive on each film, we've already broken down all 3 parts of the Fear Street trilogy on our podcast, Hacker Slash. All the links to that are in the description and the pinned comment below. Whether you're rewatching or diving in for the first time, here's what you need to know about Fear Street. First up, we have Fear Street Part 1, 1994. This first entry throws us into the heart of 1990s teen horror, and it opens in a familiar place, a bookstore, a mall, a late night shift, and wastes no time reminding us that Shadyside is not safe. The killer is a masked ghoul with a knife and a taste for chaos, but the town, well, that's a place where death has been part of the culture for generations. Beyond the bloodshed, the story focuses on Dina and Sam, 2 exes navigating heartbreak, identity, and a threat that makes their breakup look like the least of their problems. Their love story becomes the backbone of the trilogy, which is a rare anchor in a sea of carnage. In Fear Street Part 2, 1978, we jump back in time to a summer camp massacre that looks a lot like Friday the 13th with a little shot of sleepaway camp energy. Camp Nightwing is where the myth of Shadyside really gets its teeth. Ziggy and Cindy Berman are sisters caught in the middle of a generational curse that turns a fellow camper into a relentless killer. What sets this chapter apart is its focus on survival and trauma. It's not just a story about getting out alive. It's about what comes after. One survivor makes it, but they don't exactly live. They carry that grief into the 1994 storyline, becoming a living reminder of both what's at stake and what happens when Shadyside's horrors go unchecked for too long. Now, finally, we go back to where it all began and where everything gets turned on its head in Fear Street Part 3, 1666. This chapter breaks the format. The familiar faces of 1994 return, but they're recast in colonial roles, as the story of Sarah Fear, the witch who cursed Shadyside in the first place, finally unfolds. But nothing is as it seems. Now, this isn't just a burn the witch tale. What's great about this is it's a story about injustice, power, and legacy. The back half of the movie jumps back into 1994 for the trilogy's big finale, and what follows is a bold, fast-paced climax that brings every thread together, from the town's bloody history to the characters' personal battles. There's even a showdown that flips the power dynamic, a reversal that reframes everything we thought we knew, and some well-earned catharsis that finally gives Shadyside a fighting chance to break the cycle. Now, the Fear Street trilogy still works because it doesn't just remix horror tropes. It remixes horror eras. Each chapter brings a distinct tone, a different kind of fear, and a unique emotional core. And yet, they all speak to the same thing: the outcasts, the cursed, the kids who live on the wrong side of the tracks. Now, our leading ladies aren't just final girls. They're angry, they're flawed, they're resilient, and they don't just survive. They fight for a future that's been denied to them for generations. And if you're watching for the kills, you're gonna get your fill. But if you're watching for the heart too, well, that's where this trilogy really shines. The latest movie, Fear Street Prom Queen, is set in 1988, 10 years after the Camp Nightwing massacre and 6 years before the events of the mall killings in 1994. It adapts R.L. Stine's 1992 novel of the same name and leans into classic high school slasher territory. This time, the horror isn't tied to Sarah Fear's curse. It's tied to status, secrets, and the deadly politics of popularity. The film centers on Shadyside High's prom queen race, which, as we can expect, turns deadly. It's a new chapter in the Fear Street universe, and one that shows just how haunted this town really is. Fear Street Prom Queen is out now on Netflix, and if you haven't seen it yet, this is your chance to dive in. When you're done, check out our breakdown where we dig into the kills, the callbacks, and how it fits into the larger Fear Street universe. Make sure you hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and check the description for our links to all of our Fear Street episodes. Thanks for watching, and remember, the truth will come out. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but it will.